Well, good afternoon, Mr. Harkins. How are you today?
I'm hot.
It is hot in Nashville, Tennessee.
Whew, man, it's like 99 degrees for a high near the city. I know where you're out where you are, you're probably 3 or 4 degrees cooler. But
Not this time. The heat index was the further north you go, the further the heat index went.
oh, is that right?
Yeah, they said the heat index here may be as high as 105 today.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And then over north would be northwest Tennessee. The heat index over there, they said, could get up to 120 today. Yeah, it's nuts.
The world is upside down.
The
That's
world is upside down. Well, we got people coming on, so we're going to take just a minute and roll this tape, and we'll be right back. So here we are, and I actually like this topic. And I like this topic because it's a topic that people don't think about. It's one of those things when we talk about training, the vast majority of the time, we think it's all about operations. It's what it's all about. You know, you train people how to answer the phone. You train people how to read scripts. You train people on, how to do this software. You train people on how to, fix that sink and how to, you know what I'm saying? It's all about the training and the operations. We think about it maybe if we're training sales, we're training people to go into the home and maybe make that sales, but we don't think about it in terms of marketing. So why do you think training your team impacts your marketing, Carter?
Well, marketing is perception, and it's, the raw materials of a business that you get to talk about with the world about why you're qualified, why people should trust you, why people should do business with you. And okay, so here's the scenario, right? You go to a mechanic, and the guy who checks you in and gets the information from your car, he's standing there at the computer entering in all that information, and the owner is, or some other manager is standing over his shoulder helping him figure out what to put in there and describing a problem. No, just put this. No, that's this thing. And the guy doesn't know anything about cars. You can tell he doesn't have any clue yet about, how to check somebody in and figure, the routine. You see it at the grocery store when you're checking out. You see it at a restaurant when the person who's serving you, you can tell has only had maybe 2 or 3 days unsupervised job experience. It doesn't give you a lot of confidence, and it immediately causes you to do what? You question everything that they're doing. You're looking over their shoulder. You're scrutinizing everything that arrives at the table. You're not sure that you're going to be served well. And in fact, even if they did a decent job of serving you, the fact that they don't seem experienced and well trained gives you the feeling that you have not gotten everything that you paid for, right? Even if you did.
Right.
So, if marketing is perception, then training gives a perception that, this company knows their stuff. They know it cold. The person who showed up at my house knew exactly what questions to ask. They knew exactly what the problems were. They knew exactly how to describe those problems to me in a way that I could understand them. And they knew exactly how to solve that problem. And, that kind of feeling of confidence equals a lot of things when it comes to marketing. So that's the reason I think training, dovetails with marketing so closely.
Which confidence is really good. Jerry just commented causes a lack of confidence, and that's the result. And that is so true. I mean, if you don't make your homeowner or your customer, no matter where you are, retail, home service business, car lot, doesn't matter. If they don't feel that you are confident in what you do, why should they pay you? I mean, that's really the question. So if you're not willing to get out there and really be willing to train your people, why do you expect payment? when you're sending those same people out? I mean, that's my question. My goodness, don't train on somebody else's dime. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah, don't make your customers your guinea pigs. I mean, and sometimes that's inevitable. Sometimes there's only one way to give somebody experience with handling customer objections, and that's by throwing them to the wolves, right? Like giving them a chance to have some customer objections from real life customers in the field. I get that. And it's inevitable that some of the training that we need to do needs to happen in front of customers. But when that happens, the person doing the training and the person who is being trained both need to communicate with the customer. Listen, we're in a training environment right now, or we're in the process of training.
Right.
I want you to know that that's the reason I'm here, is to make sure nothing gets missed. I'm the expert in this situation, and we're going to make sure that you get the best service possible from an expert in your home. So it's clear you're not getting less than.
Right.
We're doing the best job we can possibly do for you, and at the same time giving this person the training they need so that they can do the same for others.
And the restaurant business does this really well. When they have, all of us have been in situations where the waiter or waitress has come up to our table and said, "Hey, my name is XYZ, and I've got, X here, and they're training with me today. So you might see me, you might see them, and just know that we're going through this process." So, it's setting the right expectation. Gosh, I talk about that all the time. You got to set the right expectation. And if you find that you cannot meet that expectation, then set another expectation. Don't just let that expectation fall by the wayside, because that's what makes people angry. You know what I'm saying? This is something that happened just recently with me. I had I'm going through this renovation. I had a contractor set an expectation. They didn't meet it. I waited 3 days. I'm on the phone going, "Where are you? What's going on? What's happening?" And it's because they didn't meet the expectation.
And what happens, right, is now that they've missed one of your expectations, you feel a need to micromanage the situation, to ride herd, be all over that guy's butt until you're confident again in his ability to do his job. So when your customer feels that they have to do that, when you've robbed them of peace of mind because of, failing to meet an expectation, then you're just creating more problems for yourself, because nobody likes to have a customer riding herd on every little thing that they're doing and following them like a puppy dog out to the truck and then back into the house. And, it's not a pleasant experience. And it could have been prevented if from the beginning you set an expectation of competency and of training, and that, you're an expert and you know what you're doing. And a lot of that is nonverbal stuff that gets communicated.
Yeah.
You can just pick it up. You can just tell this person has experience or they don't. And, so everything that you can do to train somebody before they get in a situation where they have an opportunity to blow it for your company, and earn them a review or a reputation for sending inexperienced people out on the field to solve problems they don't understand. It's money well spent, and it does affect your marketing. It's not purely an operations consideration.
Yeah, no, I really agree. And speaking of reviews, if you give us like that thumbs up, that little blue thumbs up, or the little red heart, I think I'm not making a very good heart, but I'm not good at finger origami. So what can I say? Anyway. With that said, if you can give us a thumbs up in the blue or a red heart, yes, there's a red heart. Who did that? Tanika, thank you. Always love those red hearts. And feel free to comment in the comment section if you have any questions, anything that you guys would like to, like us to discuss around this subject, or if you want to discuss something on the subject, just put it in there. Jerry just said the trainer must also be careful to not take over the communication. It can harm the person they are training and where they are losing self-confidence also. Yeah, I think that's good. Around here, I tell everybody, don't be afraid to fail. If you fail, we'll fix it. It's okay. I mean, it's nothing that happens here really is unfixable. So I know that's a little bit different. If you're a home service business, you might do some things that aren't really fixable. or can be dangerous. So it might be a little different. So I think you have to look at the business that you're in. But yeah, I mean, try things. I mean, you've got to let people kind of explore and move and stretch and do all that. Hey guys, thanks so much for the likes, Chuck, Mitchell. Really appreciate that. Yeah. So here's the other thing about training. I love when I call a business, and from the get go, I know whoever answers the phone knows what the heck they're talking about. Love it.
Mhm.
All right. That is CSR training. All right. Call a business. They know the business. Have you ever called a business and said, hey, well, we worked with somebody that was atrocious at this, and we don't no longer work for them, and they're not in the chimney industry. So I'm going to clarify that really quickly. But I don't know if you remember that they would call, and the first thing that they would say when they answered the phone, they would say, so what's your problem? And then the person would tell them what the problem is. And it didn't matter if the problem was an emergency problem or if it was something that they could go out later. It was the same exact answer every time. Okay, well, I got to call so-and-so and see if they can get to you. One of us will call you back. Hang up, pick up the phone, call so-and-so. Hey, you got such and such and so and so-and-so's in the field going, I'm in the middle of doing this job. Can you figure it out? Well, I don't know what your schedule is. I mean, it was the worst phone calls ever would ever listen to. And it's like, oh my gosh, people really answer the phone this way? So training that first, the first touch when somebody answers the phone, to me is huge, because if you don't schedule someone at that point, you're done. You don't have a chance to do anything else. So to me, that should be some of the best trained people you got in your business.
So cross training, right? Not just thinking about the technical aspects of a job and how to train somebody to know, how to do their job from a technical, mechanical aspect, but training the softer skills too, the people side of things, training how to communicate, and clear communication and setting good expectations and answering objections and putting the customer's mind at ease and not over promising. And these things are all part of what any good technician in the field is going to have to be good at. And there's a lot that we can do as business owners and managers to train the people under us to handle those things well and to become really good at it. So thinking about cross training, thinking about investment in communications training and skills beyond the job as we think about it, swinging hammers, turning wrenches, and cutting pipe,
Sure. And I think sales training is right in there, because you can't just, be the hard-nosed sales guy, sell these days. You really need to have good relationship selling, relationship skills, to be able to make those connections quickly. And just make that happen. Hey, Mark Hudson's in the house. Mike's in the house. We got a lot of people in the house today. That's awesome. Thanks, guys, again for all the love and the likes. We appreciate that. Here's something that, in fact, we have somebody on this call that I know I'm fixing to cause some controversy. Are y'all ready for some controversy? All right, outside my origami skills, because I disagree with this person. This person doesn't think certifications matter, and I actually think they matter. They matter in marketing. I know a lot of people will say, well, it doesn't matter if I'm certified or not. They just want to know if I can do the job on the homeowner. But I can tell you, as a marketing company, there's something called trust factor that is huge. And you start looking at how people search and where they go, they will follow your certifications. They will follow your reviews. They're going to follow the Better Business Bureau. They're going to follow all those things. Yes, thank you, Bart. Certifications absolutely matter. Yes, it's a benchmark you train to. Thank you, Bart. But they matter in marketing too. It is huge how people search these days. They want the best people possible to come in their homes and do the work, period.
So let me just speak to that real quick, because it's estimated that in the average consumer's day, average person in America during the day, they're going to encounter somewhere between 6,000 and 7,000 marketing messages during the day. 6,000 to 7,000 marketing impressions from companies vying for their attention. When it comes to sorting out which company do I need to hire for a job, there's all sorts of ways of trying to know whether or not the company that you're considering is a good one. Consumers, by the time they sit down to do that in the evening or whenever they're doing it, they're exhausted by all of this flood of information that's just coming at them, right? I mean, it really is exhausting. So they're looking for shorthand ways, quick, easy, understandable ways of sizing up a company. So what does that mean? How many reviews do they have? That's an indicator, right? Whether or not they're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau is another one. I mean, and I'm not saying that you have to be accredited with the Better Business Bureau. I'm just saying that if you are, you got to know that there are consumers, exhausted consumers out there who look at that as a shorthand way of understanding that this company is a safe bet to get, involved with. Certifications, badges, and training, and membership in associations related to the field that the trade that they're in. All of these are indicators that this company takes pride in what they do. They train their people. I'm going to have a pretty good experience. And if something does go off the rails, this company, based on the reviews, they're going to handle things and they're going to make sure that it gets back on the rails without me having to get, lose sleep over it or waste a lot of money and time. So those shorthand indicators matter to consumers. And because they matter to consumers, they should matter to you.
I totally agree, 100%. There's also another thing that we don't always consider that goes back into training with the certifications. It is a culture issue. I mean, those people that get sent to really good trainings, that get sent to schools, that go outside, it builds their culture, it builds their trust in the business, it builds their confidence. I mean, my gosh, when you got somebody that doesn't know anything about your business and you just want them to follow somebody around and learn it by osmosis, that's crazy. You've got to send them to really good training, and it builds up their confidence. With all those things, with trust and confidence comes consistency. And so consistent training, consistent certifications, being able to work up from one certification to another, that also gives them goals. One of the things that we talk about a lot of times is many businesses are kind of flat in their management. There's not a lot of hierarchy, so there's just nowhere for the employee to go. So if you've got a tiered certification process, you can go from one certification to another certification to another certification, and on and on and on. Get the different specialties around what you do. I mean, it's just great when you do that. When a company also encourages this, it shows so much love and care for your employees. It shows that you're invested in them. You're invested in their growth, which one of our mottos is, we believe in people's dreams. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, we want people to grow and expand and be the best people they can be, because I have a firm belief if somebody that is an employee of ours is the best person they can be, then they're going to be the best employee they can be too. I mean, it's an outpouring of that. So these are the reasons that I really think that training and certifications are just so important to your marketing, because happy employees, guys, equals happy customers. That's been proven in study after study after study. You want really happy customers? Then build happy employees, period.
I can't add any more to that. I'm looking at the time and going, well, how did we say everything there is to say with 10 minutes left?
I don't know, but I maybe it's because this is one of those things we both love. So,
well, it is, and I care about it, and not every, I mean, let's. I'm curious. Let's just throw it out. Let's ask people that are listening. both from the employee side as well as the owner side, talk about how training has helped you get more of what you want, either as an owner, growing the kind of business that you want, getting happier customers, or as an employee in, getting you further in your career and giving you more confidence in the work that you do for the company you work for. That's because that's the proof, right? That it matters is when you can think back and reflect on your own life at a time when you were an employee, or a time when you saw how training improved your employees' lives and created the kind of business that you wanted, lowered your stress, because more competency means less problems showing up at your doorstep. Mm-hmm. Because people are equipped to solve their own problems. But from a marketing standpoint, back to that, it's what we see is that for every dollar spent investing in employees' training, there's some equivalent of value that trickles down into their marketing. In other words, their marketing becomes more effective. Effective marketing means you're actually spending less for every new customer that comes in, because you're doing things in your marketing that make it more impactful, more effective, streamlines it, causes it to get you more of what you want. And so for every dollar spent in training, you see that show up. And I don't have a dollar amount. I'm sure there's companies that talk about that, or surveys that have been done, but it absolutely makes a difference.
Oh yeah. And I do agree. Jerry, it is why you need a training curriculum. You need to have some kind of a curriculum put out so people know what they need to do to go to that next level. Bart just said a training system takes the emotion out of promotion and advancement decisions. Boy, you want to talk about how that works. Bart, you are right on the money when you talk about how when people are trained in the training process, and you see them work themselves through and learn and start to make those progress in those areas, it becomes easy decisions on who to promote and advance. Yeah, that is so true. And a lot of people don't use that as a way, as indicators, which I've always wondered about that. So I just think that's awesome. So we have one of our employees on here, Mike, who said the Facebook Blueprint training has helped me gain confidence in what I do and just be confident in my day-to-day tasks. And that's true. That's very true. He's the guy that we go to. He's going through our training right now, but he came from Facebook training and has a lot of really good, solid foundational stuff. And I've even seen he's been here maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And just in those 2 or 3 weeks, his confidence has grown because he's been able to go in and really help some of our clients and change some things, just little tweaks here and there. It's not even been huge stuff, but just enough to where it's made a difference. And so, yeah, just that is fantastic. Mark Hudson, employees that don't buy into training programs, we have found that they aren't usually good employees and can turn into a problem for your company. I would say that's true. Very true, Mark. Mitchell is also a new employee of ours. Having a company invest in employees' training raises employee morale, knowing your employer cares about your growth. So true. And Mitchell comes out of the restaurant industry. He's a chef. And of course, most of you guys know that my youngest son is also a chef. So I kind of sympathize with Mitchell because there's not a whole lot of really good training in restaurants. So I think he probably knows what it's like to not get trained very well. And that happens. That absolutely happens. Thanks, Josh, for being on. Michael Fazy, Josh Kelly, really appreciate you guys tuning in today. Anything else about that you guys have that you want to just add to the conversation? We'll give that a few minutes. So while y'all are thinking about that, let me just tell you a couple of things. One reason we brought up training this time is I know NCSG, CCP went through all their training in June. of this year. And now CSAI is having a homecoming event that's got a lot of training available there as well. If you haven't seen that, I would just say, our call to action today is to go check out the CSI homecoming event. We've got Jonathan Sanders is going to be doing something on video. Christian Rodriguez, who is our ads person, he's going to be doing a clinic on AdWords that's going to be fantastic. Not saying that Jonathan's won't be, because it is. I get to present with both of them, so I've seen both their presentations, and they're very, very good. Carter and I are going to be talking about social and leads. We have two different sessions that we're going to be doing there, but there's some fabulous people. They've got some insurance people there. They've got owners that are collaborating, coming in, different trainers coming in. So if you haven't looked that curriculum over, I highly recommend that you do that and just see if that's something that you may be able to do. Anyway, with that said, y'all are going to get a little taste of Christian's presentation next week. He has allowed me to kind of use just a little bit of what he's going to be doing to really tell how to tell if your AdWords are really working or not. So again, it's just going to be a taste. Don't think you can learn everything he's going to teach at the CSI class he's doing, because this is just a very surface. Because we can't go deep in 30 minutes. Just can't do it on AdWords. But that's what's coming up next week. Chuck Roydhouse, 24 CEUs for $299. Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate that. And I'm sure, guys, if you call their office, you can get information and whatever on hotel rooms. I know they did some extensions or something on that. So it's really going to be a fun time. Anyway, with that said, we're coming up on 30 minutes. We are pretty much determined to keep most of these between 25 and 30 minutes so that you can go on with your day. Thanks again so much, guys, for tuning in. We love you all, and hope you have a great week. And if you are coming to the CSA homecoming, we all look forward to seeing you. So
absolutely.
We'll talk to you next week. Bye, guys.